Well, hello, fellow worm farmers. This is Larry with the Body Worm Farms one more time. Well, we normally start off by feeding the worms, but today is a little different. Last night, I actually haven't made a video in a couple of weeks, but last night I fed these worms, and I realized that my worm bin was soggy wet. It was late when I did the feeding, so I just left it at that. I said, well, I'm going to go back and I want to add a little dry in it, some cardboard, shredded cardboard here. Put that in a minute, but right in here is where I fed, so I'm going to pull it out on the side here. There you see the squash from last night. That's what I fed them last night, squash, and that's a tomato, I think, there, but I had the rest of it squash. So I'm going to pull this over here aside, away from the food, and then I'm going to put the dry bedding in here with this. I want to show you something about this bin. This particular bin here is the very first bin that I started with. I started this bin in, let's see, it was January the 17th of this year, 2023. Today, by the way, is December the 15th of 2023. And I started this bin, and I did a little calculating. And from what I understand, as we put a little dry bedding in here, now this, folks, is shredded cardboard. I see a little paper in here, but we got shredded cardboard. And the bin is so damp. This is the wettest I've had a bin yet. I've been, like I say, I started January 17th of this year. Now, what most of this is, I'll take the toilet paper roller and I'll drop it in the water. And after about 2 or 3 minutes, this thing separates. And when it separates, I cut it in half with my little cutter over here, and then I put it in my shredder, and this is what it comes out to be. But anyway, there it is. So I'm going to mix this up a little bit. Oh, I started to tell you, I started this January of this year, January 17th of this year. I went to Walmart and I bought 150 worms. Just to kind of show you, I want people to understand how worms can repopulate. It's absolutely amazing. Now, from what I have been told, your worm population under the best of circumstances will double about every 90 days. Well, since this is my first year and this is my first worm bin, since then I decided, well, I won't figure mine repopulating every 90 days, so I figure I'll just add it every 120 days. So I did some calculating, and as of now, this worm bin that started out January 17th of 2023 with 150 worms that I bought from Walmart, this worm bin should have now, and I'm figuring my population to double about every 120 days. I figured like that simply because I'm new in the worm business, and a lot of this is a learning experience. In fact, all of it's learning experience. So I wanted to give it a chance here to kind of catch up. But so what I figured from 120 worms I put in here, and January 17th of this year, and then I added another 150, add another 150 March the 8th of this year. So I figured now this particular bin should have around 5,500 worms, something like that plus. So you see just how quickly it populates. So what I'm going to do, and the reason for this video here, is to show you how damp this is. And see here, folks, see there, that's too damp for my thinking. So I'm going to dry this thing out. One of the ways I'm going to do it is add this cardboard here, which I need that anyway for bedding. And then what I'm going to do is on the top of this bin, I'm going to put my newspaper, and only my newspaper. Now, normally, I've been putting newspaper in the bubble wrap on top of that, but I've got so much moisture here that I'm not going to put my bubble wrap on. Opened this bin up last night to feed them, folks, and when I lifted the paper, you could see hardly nothing but worms. They had all came to the surface, and apparently they came to the surface to eat the newspaper. Now, I put fresh paper on here last night. It don't look so fresh now, but it was fresh last night when I put it on. And I put a little moisture to it. But here we are, my first video I've done in a couple of weeks. If you got comments, please add comments. If you got questions, ask the questions. And if I can, I'll answer them. And if I can't, I'll leave it up to those who are on there with you, and they will answer them. And I just realized I didn't put my eggshell in here. So I got to put me a little bit of eggshell in here. This will help my worms digest that food a little bit, because they gotta crawl like a chicken. But anyway, leave your comments or questions. Also, I'll leave a couple links here to my WileyWormFarm.com. Also, where I buy my worms from, or most of my worms, I bought them from Mimi's Worms in Valdosta, Georgia. I'll put you a link there. Mimi has pure red wigglers. So if you're into pure red wigglers, of course she's got other kind of worms too, but she's got pure red wigglers. And one of the few people that I know has got pure red wigglers. A lot of people advertise red wigglers, but when you get them, you don't have pure red wigglers. But Mimi is pure red wigglers. So I think I'll wrap this video up for tonight, folks. And we'll see you on the next one. God bless you. Good to see you, Gunner. Good to talk to you. Have a good evening, a good weekend. God bless you. Bye for now.